Christmas cheer from the great Charles King Arthur kicking us off here on the last live stream of 2020. Karen is doing the chat upstairs. Hi, Karen. I hope everything's going right. If something's going crazy, she's going to get me on the walkie-talkie. But it looks like everything's going well. People are checking in. I got to get some notes here. Actually, think we actually got Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I think they're both running. Looks good. All right. Again, that was Charles Arthur kicking us off. Charles was in the band and played on the early records in the mid-90s, early 2000s when I was traveling in a junkyard van with no AC, and we were sleeping 3 men to a hotel room to a Motel 6. He was there in the early days, the lean years. He's got a much cushier lifestyle now as a wedding singer in Richmond, Virginia. And he put out my very favorite holiday record that I listen to every year, Back at the Christmas Shack. I highly recommend you go and get the Bandcamp, go to Bandcamp and get Charles's Christmas record. He's got a couple other really great records there too. So speaking of Charles, he played on our very first song that we're going to do on the live stream. Again, our last live stream of 2020. I didn't bother to shave or trim. It was sort of a parting insult to 2020. I'll clean up in the new year and we'll see how that goes. All right, let's see. I got to move a scene here. Our first request is from a guy from, well, maybe a woman, I don't even know. A person from Holland. I guess that looks like Piet Hosse. I'm not sure, but this is a request from Holland. Hopefully my Dutch friends will send me the phonetic pronunciation of this person's name. Wants to hear Bring It On, a song that Charles Arthur played guitar on the Broke Down album. Good way to start out the last stream of the year. I know we don't deserve to be going down this way, pushed around and bound to troubled days. And every time we stand up and dust each other off, I know we may be losing, but we ain't lost. Bring it on, bring it on. I seen the rain tumbling down, I felt the cold wind blow, I seen trouble hanging around. Bring it on, bring it on. Once I dreamed of riches, of happiness untold. Now hopes lie scattered, trash along the lonesome road. And I don't ask for mercy, just don't work that way. Today I'm down, but hope will rise another day. Bring it on, bring it on. I seen the rain tumbling down, I felt the cold wind blow, I seen trouble hanging around. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. I've seen it all by now. My pride is gone, but I'm still here somehow. Bring it on, bring it on. And all those little plans that never came to be, well, I keep your every teardrop down inside of me. And as I watch you sleeping, I hope that you still dream. 'Cause lately when I wake up, I don't feel anything. Bring it on, bring it on. I seen the rain tumbling down, I felt the cold wind blow, I seen trouble hanging around. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. I've seen it all by now. My pride is gone, but I'm still here somehow. Bring it on, bring it on. Oh, bring it All right, bring it on. What a good way to close out this year. If we made it through 2020, we can make it through anything, right? All right, gotta check my dials and gauges here. Everything's looking pretty dang good. All right. Looks good. Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And, you know, a special end of the year thanks for everybody who's tuned in to support us and make us feel part of a community and to support us financially. 7 months ago, it looked like we were going to lose about 75% of our income for the year. And that was a hard hit to take, but through live streaming, your tips and donations, we made up over half of that, and that's enough to keep us in the black. If it wasn't for you people, we would be in the red right now. So thank you so much. Karen and I came up with the idea independently that this is going to be a free live stream. We're not going to put up the tip links. Well, maybe at the very, very end for the diehards, but we want you to relax and enjoy the show and not worry about tipping. If you're spurred to generosity, please look to your own family and neighborhood and community. Make sure that the shelters and the food banks are well stocked, and just make sure everyone's taken care of through the very darkest winter we're about to pass through here. So let's see. All right, moving on with the request. We've got a request for Blenny. She's one of these people that's been coming to most of the live streams throughout the year. Thank you, Blenny. I hope you're joining us today. She wanted to hear a song I wrote with a couple guys from Ohio named Mike Morgan and Jeff Elliott, a song called Hometown USA. And let's check my notes here. It's closing time tonight in Harlan. Set the alarm, turn out the lights. Not a soul out on the sidewalk as she steps into the night. Across the parking lot she fumbles in her handbag for the keys. Another long day of thank yous, yes ma'ams, and may I help you please. Sure didn't turn out like she planned. She thought she'd be a star by now, dodging paparazzi cameras, but she's in Harlan still somehow. What happened to the leading lady, living her life upon the stage, still only working as an extra in a film called Hometown USA. Oh, I put the capo on in the wrong spot, and the song modulates up in a little bit, so I would be in really rough shape if I kept it in that key. Now somewhere south of town on 40, a Greyhound bus rolls through the night, staring out a greasy window. He keeps searching for the light. No choice but head back home to Harlan when foreclosure shut him down. And after all that he had been through, just to end up right back in your hometown. What happened to the riding cowboy, living his life upon the stage, still only working as an extra in a film called Hometown USA. Now they don't know their fate is turning. They're drifting closer in the dark, and as he heads in for a quick one, she's already at the bar. Tonight our lives will come so natural, and he'll tell tales of trails he rode. They'll fall in love beneath the neon. Tonight they're gonna steal the show. What a sure didn't happen like they planned, but they found their own true way. It's not the big break that they dreamed of, but you know they're gonna be okay. It's not a bad part after all now, and I found called Hometown USA. Oh, sorry, I got flustered. I saw a warning sign on YouTube. Everything okay? Karen's bringing me something. Oh, it's a Dutch request. I forgot to take down the Dutch request. I got to change up my stuff here, folks, because I'm getting all discombobulated. All right, sorry, folks. I got rattled there a little bit when I saw a warning sign on the YouTube analytics, and then I forgot to take the Dutch person's request down. Okay, I'm back at it. I'm okay now. All right. Everything's okay. All right. That was for Blenny. The next song is for Christy Thomas. Asked to hear the song Cry that I wrote about 12 years ago. We have a few offbeat holiday traditions here in the Cleaves house. One of mine personally is I like to watch a movie called The Dead. It's a movie directed by John Huston. It was John Huston's final film, the legendary director, and it stars his daughter Angelica Huston and a bunch of Irish actors who are really great. It's an adaptation of the James Joyce story, The Dead, from the collection of short stories, Dubliners, one of my favorite books that I've read over and over the years. And my first favorite story in that book, in Dubliners, was a story called A Painful Case. And one of the lines in there is, "Every bond is a bond to sorrow." And I'll use that in this song, Cry. And I just hope that the Joyce estate doesn't come after me. But I'm afraid they might someday. Make sure my notes are up here. This is for Christy. New love like a diamond, like a twinkling star, but it's a whole lot of heartache to get to where we are. 'Cause every man is a myth, every woman a dream. Watch your little heart get crushed when the truth gets in between. Every bond is a bond of sorrow, your blue sky turns gray. Everything you love will be taken away. Cry for your mama, cry for your dad, cry for everything you know they never had. Lying in the bed you made, but you were so young. Say a prayer, put your head down, gotta prove your mama wrong. There's no poison like a dream when it all comes undone. Don't you know that in the end you're not fooling anyone? And every bond is a bond of sorrow, your blue sky turns gray. Everything you love will be taken away. Cry for your mama, cry for your dad, cry for everything you know they never had. You know they never had. Between the rum and the glass, between the teeth and the tongue, come December when the lights go out, you know you can't count on anyone. Between a dream and a lie, between hope and what's real, after so many years of let's work it out, you'd think there'd be some kind of a deal.
Cry for your mama, cry for your dad, cry for everything you know they never had. Cry for your mama, cry for your dad, cry for everything you know they never had, the love they never had. Cry.
Song for Christy down in San Antonio, I think. Thanks, Christy. All right, we're settling in here now, folks. Gonna do a brand new song here. Chip Dolan is a friend of mine, a keyboard player. We played for a long time in Jimmy LaFave's band. I'm sure we have some Jimmy LaFave fans out there. If you're not familiar with Jimmy, he passed away a couple years ago, but for 35 some odd years in Austin, he was a beloved singer-songwriter and band leader, a very generous man professionally, helped out a lot of young singers coming up, including myself. We were so devastated to lose him in 2017, I think. Chip was his keyboard player for a long time, and earlier this year, Chip got inspired to jot down some words in tribute to his old buddy Jimmy LaFave, and we worked on one together and got a song out of it, and we recorded it with a bunch of Jimmy's old cohorts and put it out. It's out on Spotify now, and I think you can actually go to, let's see, there's a website. That's the website. LaFavorites is the name of the group that Chip came up with. It's just a bunch of Jimmy's old compatriots and fellow singer-songwriters and friends and musicians and studio people. I'm going to attempt to do, for the first time live, I sang this song with Eliza Gilkison in the studio in March. It was the very last social event I attended before COVID. It was in early March. And I'm going to give this a try here. It's called, what's this called? It's called Back Home Again. And again, this is written by Chip Dolan and myself in tribute to Jimmy LaFave. I wish upon a star, wondering where the lost friends are. Some nights I like to pretend we could light their way back home again. I knew your voice so many years, your songs are now my souvenirs. They keep your memory in my heart, through the days and through the dark. In dreams, I'm still rolling down the road with you, all around the world and back again. Faces and places, so many we have seen. Your soul set the course, my treasured friend. One for sorrow, one for joy, makes a man out of a boy. Rest assured we'll hold you tight and surround you in our love and light. Here's the part Eliza sang on the record. Traveling down Woody's Road, opening doors and lightening loads, singing like you didn't have to try, with a voice out of the clear blue sky. The bravest thing I've ever seen, the time you sang goodnight, Irene. Your wishes all rolled into one. Take care of my only
early sun. In dreams, I'm still rolling down the road with you, all around the world and back again. Flayed faces and places and many we have seen. Your soul set the course, my treasured friend. I wish upon a star, wondering where the lost friends are. Some nights I like to pretend we could light their way back home again. Well, it's a pretty little song. All right. Well, moving on, let's see, it was 40 years ago, 40 years this month, December 1980. I got into my parents' 1975 Grand Torino station wagon, white with wood paneling on the outside, with these characters, the Magic Rats, and we drove through a snowstorm to see Bruce Springsteen at the Boston Garden. It was my first Springsteen show. And that's John Robarge. I think he was 14 or 15. Sadly, he passed away a couple years ago, unexpectedly. That's me in the middle, front row there, 16-year-old Slaid. Rod Picot, lower right. And Wayne Hutchinson on the drums in the back. And Jimmy Wolcott on vocal and sax. And that was the beginning of my musical relationship with old Rod Picot, and that one has endured for 40 years now. For 30 years, we've been writing songs together. And, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But speaking of Springsteen, we're going to do a song that Rod and I wrote in our early years together, and you can really see the Springsteen influence. It's almost plagiaristic. This goes out to, Back Home Again goes out to Jane from San Diego. And Not Going Down we're going to do now for Monk 1965. Pretty cool name there. Not Going Down. We were born in a dying town where desperate souls just hang around, waiting for a reason to believe. The young get old and the old they stay, and slowly they just fade away. But I'm not going down that way, I'm not going down. 'Cause I've been the loser, desperate to win. And I've tasted snake oil and I've tasted sin. I've stumbled through the darkness on the outskirts of town. But I'm not going down that way, I'm not going down. I met a waitress out on 95. She lived her life like throwing dice. Her habit finally took the best of her. She drew me in day by day. Yeah, love's a drug, that's what they say. But I'm not going down that way, I'm not going down. 'Cause I've been the loser, desperate to win. I've tasted snake oil and I've tasted sin. I've stumbled through the darkness on the outskirts of town. But I'm not going down that way, I'm not going down. Let it go, let it go. You flash that shiny golden smile. You say it'll be alright in a while. But I'm not about to shake your hand. Yes, I've made promises I couldn't keep. I've lost a couple of nights of sleep. But I'm not going down with you, I'm not going down. 'Cause I've been the loser, desperate regret to win. But I've tasted my share of snake oil and sin. I've stumbled through the darkness on the outskirts of town. But I'm not going down that way, I'm not going down. Let it go. Let it go. Yes, I've stumbled through the darkness on the outskirts of town.
Yeah, so Rod Picot and I, we wrote that song, oh man, 25 years ago at least. And Rod just re-recorded it, a version of it, on an album called Wood, Steel, Dust, and Dreams. It's a collector's item, special edition, not available through streaming or retail outlets at all. You have to go to Facebook/Rod Picot and send him a message if you want to buy a copy. He's just got a few left. It was a very limited run, but it's a 2-album disc of every single co-write, all 25 co-writes that we've put together over the last 30 years. And he did a beautiful job, I must say. It's really sparse, but really emotional production, I think. And there's one song on there that I haven't done in a long time. It doesn't get requested at all, so I stopped doing it. But Rod did a really beautiful version, and it made me want to relearn the song. So I need the words for this one. Let's see, is that a capo? Capo on that, yeah. All right. This is called Beyond Love.
She sleeps softly beside, and in secrets we abide. Long gone is the sharp pain of young love's foolish game. Days fade into night shades beyond love. Sometimes I'm afraid she puts too much faith in me. God knows I try, but I'm bound to fall down sometimes. Perfume faint as empty whiskey glasses, sweet and soft. Dusty bedside table lamp throws light on something lost. Days fade into night shades beyond love. Outside, a cold hand waits from the gloaming to the dawn. As love sleeps safe in memory, as you hold on, hold on. Perfume faint is empty whiskey glasses, sweet and soft. Whoops. Dusty bedside table lamp throws light on what we've lost. Love fades into night shades beyond love. Days fade into night shades beyond love. Beyond love.
Kind of a hard song to do. I guess that's why I quit doing it. We're going to stay in Rod Picot land for a minute here. Let's see. All right. I'm going to see where I am in my slides here. All right, so y'all go to Rod Picot's Facebook if you want a copy of this. That's the only place you can get it. I'm looking at the chat on YouTube for a minute. I see some friends there. I see my old friend Carly and Arlene Smith. She's been on a bunch of those. And I saw Barry and Felicia up there earlier. Good to see them. All right. I don't see anybody complaining about anything. All right. We're going to, like I said, we'll do a song that Rod Picot wrote on his own. He grew up listening to tales about this wild great uncle of his who was a heavyweight fighter in the 20s and 30s, a boxer in southern New Hampshire. Went by the name Tiger Tom Dixon. I think I got a picture of him here. There's Tiger Tom himself. And I always love this song of Rod's, and I love the intro he does to it sometimes. He tells a story about how Tiger Tom was a notorious mean drunk. And one time his buddies were at the bar drinking, and they saw Tom coming down the road to the bar, and they could tell he'd already had one. He'd already been drinking, and they didn't want to deal with him, and so they barred the door shut, and they hid under the bar, and but it was too late. I guess Tom saw him in there, and he started pounding on the door, saying, "Let me in, I can hear you guys, I know you're in there, let me in." And they didn't want to let him in, and he just started pounding on the door, and they thought he was going to break the door down because he's a heavyweight boxer. And somebody had the bright idea to find a bottle of whiskey and tie a piece of rope to one end of it, to the neck of it, and they went up to the second floor of the bar. They opened up a window and lowered the whiskey down on the rope into Tiger Tom's hands, and he grabbed the bottle and went on down the road, and his buddies narrowly averted disaster. That's the kind of folks we're talking about with this song, Tiger Tom Dixon Blues by Rod Picot. This was requested by Chuck Moore. I'm doing a very coffee house folky here thing with the double capo. It doesn't sound very good, does it? It sounds a little bit not quite tight enough. I don't like that way that sounds. I'm not going to do this after all. I'll do it down here. That sounds better. Tiger Tom Dixon had a gift from God. He could hit you quick, he could hit you hard. In a world where a man's hands are put to the test, Tiger Tom Dixon's hands were the best. Men came from Boston, from Ohio, corners of counties that you'll never know, barrooms and pool halls with nothing to show, except for the fist that they did throw at Tiger Tom Dixon. Tiger Tom Dixon. He'd step into the ring, gloves tied on tight. After humbling a man, Tom would tie one on in spite. Kick back into a whiskey like it was an easy chair. Drink to anything that the devil may care. Now Tom held the future in his right fist, but there was no good time Tom Dixon could resist. No neon in New England, he hadn't passed out under. No white lightning hadn't filled his thunder. Men came from Boston, from Ohio, corners of counties that you never know, barrooms and pool halls with nothing to show, except for the fist that they did throw at Tiger Tom Dixon. Tiger Tom Dixon. Now Tom held the future in his right fist, but there was no good time Tom Dixon could resist. No neon in New England, he hadn't passed out under. No white lightning hadn't filled his thunder. Tougher than leather and quick as a cat, to the young man one day is no longer that.
the dreams of those around him sink to the quick till he slows just enough for them to figure the trick. Come a day in December, the steely winds did blow into the ring of man. Tom Dixon did know it was himself without the bottle, and the dream held fast. He took Tom's dream with him and he never looked back. Come roll around that bottle for a couple of years till he was put in the ground by his own fears. Now all that is left is the story I have told, and the dream that still waits to unfold for Tiger Tom Dixon. Tiger Tom Dixon. Men came from Boston, from Ohio, corners of counties that you'll never know, barrooms and pool halls with nothing to show, except for the fist that made it throw at Tiger Tom Dixon. Tiger Tom Dixon. Tiger Tom Dixon. Tiger Tom Dixon.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Karen. Tiger Tom Dixon by old Rod Picot. Oh, I'm sorry I'm so rusty today, everybody. I just, when you do these once a month, it's just hard to knock the dust off. Usually, when I'm touring, it's 5-6 nights a week. All right, Rod asked me to stop asking for requests in the chat because I'm not paying attention to the chat except just once in a while, taking a look. And I'll try to watch it tomorrow. But the best way to get a request in for next month is to sign up on the mailing list, and then you'll get a mailer a couple times a month when we announce the live stream, and you just hit reply to the mailer, and Karen will take down a request and be sure and get it to me. Or you can, in YouTube, if you put it in the comments, then it's there permanently, and we can watch for that. Or you can go on to slaidcleaves.com, and on the contact page, there's a little widget called Ask Slaid a Question. If you put your request in there, I can get it and keep track of them. And as you can see, even with advance notice, I have a hard time remembering all these songs if I'm not playing them every night. But certainly, if you ask for a song I haven't done in months and I haven't looked at the lyrics for a while, it's going to be even worse. So anyway, that goes to Chuck Moore. And while we're doing songs by friends of mine, we got a request from old Blenny, who wanted to hear a song by good old Michael O'Connor, fantastic guitar player and songwriter in his own right. He was on the Broke Down World Tour for many a mile driving the Blue Whale van. And Michael, as a sideman, things are really tough for those guys, especially these days with the quarantine. So Michael could use a little help. He's been doing guitar lessons through Zoom. And I know they're really good. I haven't taken one yet. I might someday. But Michael O'Connor gave my dad some guitar lessons one time when we had a couple of days off in Maine, and my dad really enjoyed it. And my dad was not a very good guitar player at all, and Michael was very patient with him. He's a really good teacher. And if you want guitar lessons from old MOC, he's on Twitter, and he's a real fun Twitter follow too. He's got that Irish wit, and it comes out on Twitter in entertaining ways. So I'll keep that up while I sing this song of Michael O'Connor's called Getaway Car. Tune up a little bit. What's going on? The old man's been drinking, Mama's been driving herself home alone more and more. Baby tugging at her breast, that little devil won't take no rest, and the goddamn neighbors all keeping score. It's Mama's birthday,
Oh, but the bills ain't paid. We'll sit alone in the dark, make a pallet by the screen door, dear. Try and get some cool air in here, listening to the highway rolling past. And I dream of a getaway car, one with no brakes or plates, dark and swift without a trace. And I drive it oh so far away, straight out into the night. I'm gonna carry it all in the glow of my headlights. The town pumps at the edge of town. The whores call his name when he comes around. 3 sheets to the wind like a millionaire. Crawls home on his hands and knees for 3 hungry mouths to feed. Their bellies all empty as the frigid air. And I dream of a getaway car, one with no brakes or plates, dark and swift without a trace. And I drive it oh so far away, straight out into the night. I'm gonna bury it all in the glow of my taillights. Oh, Michael O'Connor. Sure will be fun to hang out with him again when the quarantine's over. That was for Blenny. I see Blenny's with us here today. Nice. Glad you could tune in, Blenny. And Carly's here. All right. You see a bunch of names. A bunch of names I recognize. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, one more favor. This really helps spread the video, the live stream, far and wide, and the days after people come in and watch it when it's not live. Hello, all you people in the future. If you people in the present click on the thumbs up button just below the video, there's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. If you click the thumbs up, it tells YouTube to send this to more people, to put it in their YouTube homepage, that little, the little box, the little thumbnail. So that would help me out greatly, folks. The YouTube folks, hit those thumbs up buttons, folks. All right, moving on. I got a request for Terry Ann. I don't know where Terry Ann lives, but she sent in the request recently for a song called Twistin'. A song that depicts how capital punishment was meted out in East Texas in the old days, not too long ago, just a couple generations ago. I wrote this with a friend named Eric Blakely, and he found the magazine article that we based this on, and almost all of the details in this song came directly from that magazine article. I didn't make up hardly anything. Let's see, am I doing a capo on this? No. Years ago on an April day, a crowd gathered from miles around. Over 1,000 I heard one say, all around me on the square in town. Ladies dressed up in their best, kids ran around and played. They all come to see me, I guess. Me and the sheriff and a man in chains. The Reverend Sam began a prayer to the women, the men, the boys and girls. We are graveyard sons and daughters, passing through an unfriendly world. last words and down he goes. Teeth bared in an awful grin. A cheer rises up from the crowd as I hold him twisted in the wind. Now this song has a very unusual perspective to it, a point of view. It's not a human being. Some people have heard me play this game before, but if you haven't, listen real closely. See if you can tell what point of view the song is written from. It's an inanimate object. Isn't it? Yeah. It's not a person, let's put it that way. Men held up their babies to see. Reporters jotted down a tale. Hawkers brought out lemonade, and the ladies headed for the hanging day sale. From time to time these folks would come, and all but one would walk away. I'd shudder as the rope snapped tight, but I got used to hanging day. Now they don't gather around no more, though I'm tall and stouter still. Now they do it all behind closed doors. They say it's a cleaner way to kill. The Reverend Sam began a prayer to the women, the men, the boys and girls. We are graveyard sons and daughters, passing through an unfriendly world. A few last words and down he goes. Teeth bared in a dead man's grin. A cheer rises up from the crowd as I hold him twisted in the wind. One more poor boy dead and gone, twisted in the wind. All right, so I see that some people know the answer to whose point of view was the song written from, but they didn't want to spoil it, so you can spoil it now. Whoever knows or whoever wants to guess, put it up there in the chat. We'll see, and Karen will tell you if you're right or not, I guess. All right, that went out to Terry Ann. Got one going out to Hunter in Arizona coming up next. A song that I really like that doesn't get requested very often, so thank you so much, Hunter, for requesting this song. I like doing this one. It's a challenge. It's called I Bet She Does. Right in tune here. Yes, it is. Do it. Alrighty. Yes, Arlene Smith has the correct answer. The tree is the point of view. The tree shudders when the rope snaps tight. The tree grows tall and stouter still. The tree at the center of the square in town. The hanging tree. I think the original story that song came from was about the hanging tree in Columbus, Texas, I believe. Which I found out later, I believe, was actually a lynching tree. Didn't know that when I wrote the song, but it makes it even darker and horrible, more horrible. It's called I Bet She Does. Well, I can take Twitter's MOC down. All right.
right, sorry, I'm not good about my slides today. I didn't rehearse enough, I guess. They say she's trying to get a hold of me, and she's not the woman she once was. She's telling all her friends now she misses me. I'll bet she does. I turned off my phone a week ago. She sent a friend over today. I said it's over, please don't waste my time. But she said it anyway. She misses you. You can see it in her eyes, and besides, she told me so. Is there anything you want to whisper to her now that she wants again what once was? She says she misses me. I'll bet she does. I won't deny that I still think of her, and I'm not trying to be cruel, but I won't trick my humbled heart again, and I'll no longer play the fool. She misses me. Now there's nobody to hold her in the night and say it's alright. Does she realize after running off to him that it's me after all who she loves? She says she misses me. I'll bet she does. She says she misses me. I'll bet she does. For Hunter in Arizona. Thanks, Hunter. Alrighty. Let's see, I got some slides here for the next one. Here's a song that gets requested quite often. A song Below that I wrote with my old high school friend, Nicole St. Pierre. She sent me the idea of this song, the beginnings of this song, a poem basically, inspired by an article in Down East magazine many years ago. And we hammered the song together back and forth over email, and it's turned into a favorite. It was inspired by the flooding of the town Flagstaff in Maine, but it also applies to, there were hundreds and hundreds of towns that were flooded in the great electrification of the country in the early to mid part of the 20th century. But especially this one goes out tonight to Justice Stevens, to Hawaii Boy, and also I want to mention Jan and David, who sent us a nice tip in the mail a couple of months ago. David is Dutchie's grandson, as in Dutchie's store that they tore down. I've got some slides. Let's see. Flag steers. This is Old May Savage's house before the flood and while the waters were coming up, forming the Lake Flagstaff and drowning the little town. You can find these online. That's a picture of Flagstaff Lake today. It's a beautiful, beautiful place with a ghost of a town at the bottom of it. That's what the town looked like. In its prime, it was just a little tiny Maine village, but it was hard for people to leave it, as you can imagine. Alrighty, let's see. I got the requests, I got my notes. Alrighty. Someone wrote Canyon Lake. Yeah, Canyon Lake, just a few miles down the road from where I am. Someone mentioned that must be a dammed up lake too. I guess so. All right. Let's see. Must be a town at the bottom of Canyon Lake. Below. That's the wrong capo. Let's see. I gotta go up here for this one. There's an older road just off Route 9, fades into the lake at the
low water line. Sometimes I wander down that road alone, remembering the town that I once called home. I grew up in the valley, every neighbor a friend, until the modern world came a-creeping in. One day came the lawyers with cash in hand. They swore that our village should light up the land. The dusky waters move cold and slow, and the ghosts of a village still wander below. Homesteads of families and friends forevermore, haunting the valley below this sparkling shore. Surrounding the valley was a painted red line, drawn by company men like a mark in a crime, a silent reminder that all inside it must go, or be lost to the rising of the dead river's flow. Some folks took the money, started grinding gears, while the rest of us held out for 20-odd years. We watched our town like a photograph fade as the company came to take it all away. They tore down the church and the schoolhouse burned. The schoolhouse burned. They dug up the graves, the wheels of progress turned. They got Dutchie's store and Hazen's pool hall. When the dozers rolled, it shattered us all. The dusky waters move cold and slow, and the ghosts of the village still wander below. Homesteads of families and friends forevermore, haunting the valley below this sparkling shore. Old May Savage stayed as long as she could. Her house on the hill towered over the flood. It rose up above them in the dark of night, its face on the water in the cold moonlight. I shake off the memories of my lips of prayer. Thanks for the grace and the beauty down there. And while the porch lights glow all over the stage, there's nothing but darkness under the lake. The dusky waters move cold and slow, and the ghosts of the village still wander below. Homesteads of families and friends forevermore, haunting the valley below this sparkling shore. Haunting the valley below this sparkling shore. Alrighty. Below. Well, so again, I wrote that song with Nicole St. Pierre, and she got in touch a few days ago. Something looks wrong on YouTube. Hold on a second. She got in touch a few days ago, and let me double check something here. I saw a warning sign on the YouTube. Oh, it looks good. No worries. False alarm. Nicole got in touch a few days ago and reminded me that I used to do a tragic Christmas song called 1913 Massacre that Woody Guthrie wrote about a massacre that he read about in a book
about labor struggles that he read around 1940, I think, written by a woman who was there and part of the movement. So this takes place, I think, after copper miners were on strike for about 6 months. So it took place amidst very hard feelings and outbreaks of violence. And that's how this song, that's the context of this song, about something that happened 107 years ago. 1913 Massacre. Let's see. I think I'm going to do this in C. Take a trip with me in 1913 to Calumet, Michigan in the copper country. I'll take you to a place called Italian Hole, where the miners are having their big Christmas ball. I'll take you in a door and up a high stair. Singing and dancing is heard everywhere. I'll let you shake hands with the people you see, and watch the kids dance round the big Christmas tree. You ask about work and you ask about pay. They'll tell you they make less than $1 a day, working the copper claim, risking their lives. So it's fun to spend Christmas with children and wives. There's talking and laughing and singing in the air, and the spirit of Christmas is there everywhere. Before you know it, with friends with us all, and you're dancing around and around in the hall. Well, a little girl sits down by the Christmas tree lights to play the piano, so you gotta keep quiet to hear all this fun. You would not realize that the copper boss thugmen are milling outside. Well, the copper boss thugs stuck their heads in the door. One of them yelled and he screamed, "There's a fire." A lady, she hollered, "There's no such a thing. Keep on with your party, there's no such a thing." Well, a few people rushed, but it's only a few. That's just the thugs and the scabs thrilling you. The man grabbed his daughter and carried her down, but the thugs held the door and he could not get out. And then others followed, 100 or more, but most everybody remained on the floor. The gun thugs, they laughed at their murderous joke, while the children were smothered on the stairs by the door. Such a terrible sight I never did see. We carried our children back up to their tree. The scabs outside just laughed at their spree, and the children that died there was 73. Well, the piano played a slow funeral tune, and the town was lit up by a cold Christmas moon. The parents, they cried, and the miners, they mourned. See what your greed for money has done. The great Woody Guthrie. That's a heavy, heavy tune. The last few songs are going to be fun songs, I promise. We're going to do one. It's a tribute to my old buddy Don Walser. I've got a picture of Don here somewhere, I think. There he is in his prime, the old Pavarotti of the plains. Make sure I got the words up here just in case.
Up at Henry's Bar and Grill on the north side of town, I see a man reach up to heaven and pull a song on down to a smoke-filled room of misfits, young and old and brave and small. And with the laughing eyes of the Buddha, he shared it with us all. And every soul in that roadhouse felt the power of his song. Through life's joys and sorrows, he brought us together as one. They called him God's own yodeler, the Pavarotti of the plains. There's no bigger voice in Texas, Don Walser was his name. He was raised out in the Mesa, just a boy when his mama died. With daddy at the mill all night in that empty house he tried. He'd climb up in the oak tree to sing his broken heart. The neighbors gathered in the yard, listening in the dark, singing songs about West Texas, cowboys and old John Deeres, rodeos and drive-ins and the thrill of teenage years. They called him God's own yodeler, the Pavarotti of the plains. There's no bigger voice in Texas, Don Walser was his name. Odeloo, odeloo, odelee, odeloo, odelee, tee. From the honky-tonks and dance halls to the grand old Opry, Don Walser brought a smile to every fan who came to see. Now it's oxygen and wheelchairs, the trips to the docks in town. His days kept getting longer, he knew he was glory bound. My friend, your work is done here, and I'd say you did it well. Your voice rings down from heaven all the way to the bottle devil himself. And now you're God's own yodeler high above the Texas plains. We miss you here in Austin, with love we speak your name. Odeloo, odeloo, dee, odeloo, dee, odeloo, odeloo, odelee, odeloo, odelee, dee, 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 dee.
All right, people digging the yodeling on a chat there. I guess I'll do one more. Let's do one by the great man himself, Ray and Don. Ray Benson and Don Walser. There they are, Ray and Don. They wrote this song together called Texas Top Hand. This is a real tricky yodel one. I'll say a little prayer before I do this one. Make sure you get my seatbelt on here. I'm going to get the words up in case I space on the words. I was 12 years old. Boy, I sure do miss Don Walser. I was 12 years old when I busted my first Bronco in La Mesa, Texas, don't you know? I've been working ever since from a saddle that they give me down in Fort Worth at the Fat Stock Rodeo. I can do more from a saddle than I can from this old pickup, and my pickup, and my horse is better company, I know. I'm a Texas top hand, and I bet my bottom dollar, man, I'll wind up in the money at this year's rodeo. I'm a Texas top and I'm the #1 man when it comes to matters of an old cowhide. I can ride 'em, I can break 'em, and on Friday I'll be making my way into town to dance with some old cowboy band. Oh,
I see the evening sun coming in on me through the blinds. I can hear them cattle lowing as I play my old guitar and run my fingers over them old rusty strings. They're beginning to sound funny, guess I'll take some drinking money and buy another set this coming spring. There's a full moon on the rise as we turn in for the evening, and the prairie is as pretty as can be. There ain't no better life than the life of a cowboy. It's as close as you can get to being wild and living free. I'm a Texas type and I'm the #1 man when it comes to matters of an old cowhide. I can ride 'em, I can break 'em in. On Friday I'll be making my way into town to dance with the Don Walser band. Oh, do dee oh, oh, do dee oh, do dee oh, oh, do dee oh, do oh, do oh, do oh, dee oh, do Well, that was a far cry from Don Walser, but, well, I did what I could. Oh, boy. All right, I've got a couple of New Year's Day songs coming up, of course, everybody. Boy, are we ready to put this year to rest, aren't we? Damn. Let's see. Let's do the one about my Texas family, the Maxies. They taught me and Karen how to be Texans. Well, you might think there's nothing left but ashes in a box on a table at Crosby's bar. But there's more than meets the eye. You didn't leave us when you died. Your spirit will live on in what we do and who we are. Oh, and Betty's gonna tell us stories about the family. Daughter Susan is gonna sing your favorite song. Cousin Perry will spend the day telling tales of the blue and gray, and the Cajun will keep picking all night long. We'll be putting down the brisket and tequila down in Kerrville with the Seekers of Shade. 'Cause a piece of you lives on, not only in this song, but in all the lives you touched and every friendship that you made. We're gonna go up to Maine and eat some clams and lobsters, bite the worm down in sunny Cancun Bay. We'll be home by Christmas Eve, telling tales you won't believe, and we'll swim in Barton Springs on New Year's Day. Oh, I forgot to put up the slide. I'll put it up after the song. I don't think we'll be swimming in Barton Springs this year. Next year, for sure. Well, Greg's gonna walk the aisles up at Carlisle, bringing smiles just like you used to do. Uncle Dave's got a whiskey toast. I've been driving from coast to coast, and your smiling face will live on in the heart of Widow Sue. Or we're gonna jump across the mighty Mississippi, way up north where it's just a little stream. Brother Bill's gonna keep an eye on the kin you left behind, for you taught us how to live and you showed us how to dream. We're gonna go up to Maine and eat some clams and lobsters, bite the worm down in sunny Cancun Bay. We'll be home by Christmas Eve, telling tales you won't believe, and we'll swim in Barton Springs on New Year's Day.
There it is. There's me right in the middle, swimming with the Maxey family. New Year's Day, 1993, I believe. I think at noon, I think we were the only people there. Times sure have changed. Well, folks, we're going to wrap it up with one good year, of course. Who couldn't use a good year coming up? We've all suffered, some more than others. Watch out for your friends and neighbors who've suffered more than you, is all I got to say. We'll get through this together. Thank you so much for hanging with us today on this Sunday afternoon. And thanks to the diehards who've been to so many of my live streams, my monthly streams throughout the year. As I mentioned earlier, you've made the difference in our household between debt and not debt, and we appreciate that very much. It's a New Year's Day, just like the day before. Same old skies of gray, same empty bottles on the floor. Another year gone by, and I'm thinking once again, how can I shake this losing hand and somehow win? Just give me one good year to get my feet back on the ground. I've been chasing grace, grace ain't so easily found. One bad hand can devil a man, chase him and carry him down. I gotta get out of here, just give me one good year. I'm burning oil, engines running rough. I drive from job to job, but it's never enough. I can't find the will to just up and get away. Some kind of chains holding me down to make me stay. Just give me one good year to get my feet back on the ground. I've been chasing grace, grace ain't so easily found. One bad hand can devil a man, chase him and carry him down. I gotta get out of here, just give me one good year. It's a bitter wind in your face every day. It's the little sins that wear your soul away. When you start giving in, where do the promises all go? Will your darkest hour write a blank check on your soul? Just give me one good year to get my feet back on the ground. I've been chasing grace, grace ain't so easily found. One bad hand can carry a man, a good one can turn him around. I gotta get out of here, just give me one good year. I gotta get out of here, just give me one good year. Just give me one good year. Thank you, Karen, for helping out today. Thank you all for tuning in. Saw my old buddy Rod Picot in the chat. Thanks, buddy. We'll see you in 2021. Fingers crossed, it's gonna get better. Thank you so much, everybody. Signing out here from Wimberley. We'll see you in the new year.